We support black candidates all the time, but somehow the message is not getting to the people because they're not showing up to vote. We just had a Houston representative on who was running. She lost in the primary, and I thought she would have been dynamic. But they're not showing up because they don't have faith, and they feel like 40, 50 years they've been asked to give up a vote with nothing in return. And that's the retort. So it's hard to sit here every day and argue that you should just vote Democrat because we don't want another, reelected Trump. But what are we getting? There's no reparations on the table. I get that. What policy should we be really pushing? I don't know. Drew, help me.
But I just want to say the reparations bill introduced for the first time in the Senate. Thank you very much. It was I sponsored it in the Senate. We're seeing progress on these concepts that we couldn't even talk about, that weren't even being talked about. Reparations was a major issue in the campaign of the 2020 campaign. We are making progress. But I hear what you're saying, Karen. We've had this conversation. You should have just had me as a co-host to your show like 10 years ago. We could.
You have been invited, sir. Don't play that game with me today. We could have that. And happy belated birthday. So you got me, Clay, and Senator Booker, all Bulls. So we already know what's coming out, right?
The guitarist is up in here.
Come on. Drew McCaskill's here.
Senator, thanks. Andrew McCaskill contributed to the Karen Hunter show. I keep coming back to the idea that Black Americans want to understand what the return on our investment is from the DNC. And I get it. We need to have more African Americans and more people of color in the arena running for elections. But our investment still needs to be reported back to us in a way that is modern, and in a way that is not reflective of 20 years ago or 15 years ago or even 10 or 5 years ago. I don't feel like Democratic candidates are going to where the people are and having conversations with us in ways that are meaningful and in ways that are shareable, right? And so I get it. There's a lot of policy work that has to be done, but help me understand the thinking of not communicating back our return on investment to us in spaces where we are, because there are tons of smart people who can tell you where Black people are, where they are online, where they're having conversations, the new town hall that we've created in social and digital spaces. And African Americans have incredible social currency. We're incredibly powerful at getting messages out. We can sell anything. Why not engage us in a way that makes more sense so that we can then start to sell what our return on our investment from the DNC has been up to this point?
And I will take any input. This is what I know. As a member of the Congressional Black Caucus, they are doing virtual town halls. We all push out the same things on our social media. It doesn't get the kind of virality that we see other parts of our culture often get. But I have personally participated in I'm a New Jersey senator, and I've been participating in town halls on our core issues all across this country. We've done events in prisons. We've done events where we bring in celebrities to be a part of the conversation on our issues. So they are going on all the time. I mean, the CDC during this crisis, I've lost track. I haven't been able to go to all the town halls that they're having, calling together all kind of leaders. So I know a lot of that energy is going on. I just know it's not as penetrating to the level that you and I want it to penetrate, because you're competing in a more fractured media market where click-throughs and the like. But I know the people in the CBC. They are like the James Brown of the House of Representatives in terms of the activism and the engagement on the community level. But I agree with you.
They need to be the little Nas X of the CBC in terms of engagement, right? That's the point I'm hoping to respectfully make.
I think, and one of the things that I would just add to that is that, because I love town halls. I'm a policy nerd. Like I'm a lawyer. Like I love town halls. I love going to those things. I think they're fantastic. But it would be, I think, one of the things that we're realizing as a result of how we had to shift in our census campaign, for example. We had a campaign that was targeting barbershops, hair salons, and Black-owned daycare centers. Why? Because in the 5 boroughs of New York City, if you are Black, you are tied to either barbershop, a hair salon, or a daycare center, or a faith-based institution. And then COVID-19 showed up, and so we had to take everything completely online. So now we are going to be interviewing barbershop owners, hair salon owners, daycare owners, and having them activate their community base, their clientele base, because they are still in touch with their community. I would love to see a Cory Booker talks to barbershop owners, as opposed to a traditional town hall where it's a lot of elected officials, all of whom come in, dip their little finger, say their little 5 fingers on the mic, and then 1 finger on out the door. I would love to see Ayanna Pressley having a talk about alopecia or black-owned hair care, and then talking about the policies that she's involved in that directly speak to that. I would love to see, as opposed to the traditional town hall method, hitting our community exactly where they're at with conversations in spaces where we are already comfortable, because the people who tend to go to town halls are nerds like me who are like, oh, my God, do you know what elected official is coming? Oh, this is going to be. So, I think that if I may, Drew, I think what we were getting at is the idea that though those conversations are happening, they are happening in spaces where the masses of our people do not have the access that would be necessary for them to translate that message and get it out into the streets, so that when someone says, Democrats ain't did nothing for me, your sister friend could be like, nah, girl, did you see Ayanna Pressley? She had to talk, and all the ladies who tea, or the sisters who dine, or whatever it is, we all got together. So it's a different conversation, and it's in a different format happening in different spaces where the masses of our people have access, and not those who are already traditionally going to be politically engaged.